Good morning. In this video, I would like to talk to you about your baby swaddle or sleeping bag. When we work on a sleep program, if your baby is a newborn, we have to swaddle your baby. Because of the startle reflex, if your baby keeps startling, it's really going to affect the sleep training. So if your baby is 0 to 4.5 months, and your baby is not rolling yet, and you can clearly see that there's still a startle reflex, which means when your baby is still asleep, they just jump. It's a jerky reflex that they've got, and that goes away when they start rolling, which is around the 4.5 month mark. So if your baby is not in a swaddle, I really would like to recommend getting one. And we need to swaddle your baby. And I know a lot of parents say that my baby doesn't like the swaddle. I don't want to swaddle. Unfortunately we need to. Okay. Yes, your baby might not like it, but I've put a lot of babies back into swaddles, and they were actually fine when we did the sleep training, and they actually slept so much better. I know that a lot of parents, they swaddle their baby's arms up, which is like that. I don't want those swaddles, please. The arms must be down, because when a baby's arms are up, they can still startle. Okay, it has actually no effect. So the arms must be down. So it doesn't matter what kind of a swaddle you use, but the arms must be down. So you can use a normal Muslim wrap, which is really cheap, and you can get it at any shop, and then you can just wrap them up really tight. With a Muslim wrap, just know that your baby can't move their arms at all. They are quite restrained in the Muslim wrap. The sleeping bag swaddles that I really like are these ones. You can get the Ergo pouch or the grow bag. It honestly doesn't matter. But what I like about it is your baby can still move their hands inside or their arms. So if they want to bring their hands up and suck on their fingers to soothe themselves that way, it's absolutely fine, because the arms are still against the body and they can't startle themselves awake. Yes, when your baby starts rolling, we can transition your baby out of that swaddle, and at the end of the day, their arms out. So usually we take one arm out when they start rolling, one arm out for a week, and then the other arm out later. So that's in terms of the swaddle if your baby is a newborn. If your baby is older and you need to put your baby in a sleeping bag, I definitely recommend being in a sleeping bag. So that's that one. And we want the one with the bag, not the one with the separated legs. If your baby is younger, it doesn't matter that much. But if you have an older child, 16 months and older, I would definitely recommend the one with the bag at the bottom. And the whole point of that is to restrict your child from getting out of the cot, because when your child reaches around 2 years old, they are not ready to get out of a cot. We don't transition toddlers out of their cots before they are closer to 2.5 or 3, but they get tall, they lift their legs up, and they jump out of the cot, and then you as a parent are really scared to keep your child in a cot, because they fall out of the cot. So when you have a sleeping bag like this, they can't lift their legs high enough to jump out of the cot. So that's also a safety measure and a way to keep your baby in the cot. We don't use blankets at all in cots. Maybe with a newborn who's not moving at all, yes, maybe you can use a blanket if you really have to, but that blanket must be tucked in, okay, to have it safe and sits safe. With older children, babies, when they start moving and rolling, no blankets whatsoever, because when you want a blanket to be safe, it must be tucked in. And when we do the sleep training, we don't want to restrict your child's movements at all, because we want your child to be able to find his own way in soothing himself to sleep. Okay, so if your child is not in a sleeping bag, again, we transition them very easy back into a sleeping bag. Even if they don't like it, we do it very successfully. So please, if your child doesn't have a sleeping bag, please get one before we start the sleep training. Thank you very much.